Alright guys, so earlier this year I turned a big 3-0 and I wanted to do like a video reflecting back on some things that I would have done differently that would have set me up better for where I am today, because there's definitely no doubt that like from 20 to 30 you really do learn a lot about yourself, and you probably make some of the most mistakes you're ever going to make in your life in between that period. So the first thing is going to be money. It's always going to be important no matter where you are or what you're doing in your life. You're always going to need money, especially now, like everything's so expensive. Now I definitely could have saved a lot more money and been a bit better off financially if I hadn't have been so silly and partied a bit too much, but you obviously do need to enjoy your life. But basically it's going to come down to, you know, money. You're going to need to make sure that you think about the future and make sure you've got like a good amount saved. Now I don't recommend just saving money and just leaving it in the bank. What I wish I had done was learn more about like ETFs and stocks. And what I'll do is, for an example, I'm going to go into a compound interest calculator and quickly show you that if you was to start investing just £100 a month of your wages into S&P 500, that typically is going to get you 8% return, you would have in 10 years, you would have £18,416, which I think is really good, because £100 a month when I started my full-time job at 20 to now wouldn't have affected my life that much back then, even though I was on like half the amount of money I'm on now when I first started. I definitely could have done £100 a month, and you know, now I would have had 18,000 just from doing that in 10 years. And you'd be surprised how quick 10 years goes round. And if you really wanted to push it and did say £200 a month, you would have double that. So you'd have nearly 37,000, and you could do a lot with that money. You could put a deposit down on a house, and yeah, that would definitely be something I would have done differently, is just saving a little bit of money and investing it every single month from the minute I started my full-time job. The next one is going to be become pro at something. It doesn't matter what it is. You might have a hobby or something that means a lot to you. It could be sewing, it could be playing basketball, whatever, and try and really knuckle down on it. And later on in life it could be like a really good accolade to have. You get really good skill. You never know when it might come in and really benefit your life. And try and pick something that's a good habit. When I was younger, I played a lot of tennis. I would do a lot of tournaments and go to a lot of clubs, meet a lot of really cool people. And I feel like if I just stuck with it, I probably could have got somewhere quite far with it. But the problem is, there was a lad I played against who was like 4 years younger than me, and it's like really shattered my confidence because he just absolutely smoked me in a tournament. And yeah, I never went back to playing it again after that properly. But if I just persevered and taken that on the chin, then who knows where I could have, or how good I could have got doing that. And if you don't kind of pick something that you need to put your all in, you are potentially going to find other things that aren't good for your personal growth and that are just bad distractions. The next thing is going to be bad habits in your 20s that are so easy to get into, like drugs, porn, binge eating, just scrolling through social media all the time and not really developing any kind of discipline. The problem with these things is the immediate gratification you get, and that dopamine rush can be so addictive. It's so easy to just come home from work and do either one of those things or all of those things, and you know, not do anything productive in the evening, like going to the gym or potentially doing a martial art. Anything that, when you actually think about it, is, you know, quite hard to pull yourself up and go to the gym. Maybe you suffer with anxiety. I know I have done in the past, and thought of going to the gym, you know, oh, everyone's going to be looking at me or whatever. But those are the things that are actually going to build your character and make you better in the long term. And those other things are just going to become harder and harder to cut off later on in life, and they have literally zero benefit to you. So I recommend, you know, trying to create habits that in the short term sound really, really tough to do, but you know, later on you're going to be really glad that you started doing them and you cut those other things off. The last one is going to be travel as much as you can, because I didn't even go on a plane until I was 23, and in the past 7 years I've been to loads of different countries and I've loved pretty much all of them. And just going around and seeing different cultures and how people live, it really, like, you can learn a lot and it can be really good for your personal growth. Just like coming out of your comfort zone. You know, when you're stuck in a town where everyone knows everyone, especially like where I live, it can be quite claustrophobic, and you might feel held down by people around you to act a certain way. But if you travel around a lot, or potentially go and like work abroad, then that can open up a new opportunity for you to potentially, you know, act different, or act in more of alignment with how you want to be, and not how other people want you to act. And I actually had, before COVID, I was going to go to Thailand and see what it was like out there, because I got a friend who moved out there and he didn't particularly like it living here, and he's teaching English out there and he absolutely loves it, and he's created a whole new life over there. And I can see like he's a different person to what he was here, and like a better person, I would say. And unfortunately COVID happened and I couldn't go on my flight, and I never ended up going out there. But I definitely was interested in like maybe working in Australia at one point. I had contacts with people that was going to get me jobs and stuff over there, but obviously life got in the way and I didn't end up doing it. But if it had been 5-6 years ago, I would have definitely considered doing that and quitting my job and going to live and work out there. It would have been a massive risk at the time, but I think it really would have made a benefit to my life to have done that. And you know, when you're younger, you've got a lot less commitments and responsibilities, so that is something I would have done differently. I would have tried to move to a different country and, you know, learn a new skill, or just travel around a little bit more. Definitely go on and on about more like lessons and things I've learned from 20 to 30, but I won't waste any more of your time. I hope you enjoyed the video and, you know, you took some good advice from it. If you did, then leave a comment and let me know. I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.